key backer, Iran. We're expecting today the
Yeah.
Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei to give his first public sermon in over 5 years.
Yeah, and it's significant because 5 years ago, back in January 2020 is the last time that we had this sort of public appearance, and that was shortly after we had Iran strike at a U.S. military base in Iraq. And the reason it had done that was in retaliation for a U.S. strike against a top commander, the supreme commander, Qasem Soleimani, in Tehran, a strike that had been ordered by the then President Donald Trump. And that had touched off, a lot of convulsions, not just across Iran, but the wider region. So Khamenei's appearance is not to be taken lightly. It's more than simply a symbolic appearance. It's going to be watched, for the prayers, but also the public sermon, but it's also going to be watched for any signals that he may give during this sermon as to what Iran's intentions are going to be moving forward. We've all been reporting what the understanding is that Iran has made it clear that if Israel were to strike out, hit oil installations in Iran, its nuclear facilities, Iran will have no choice but to retaliate, and to retaliate, as it says, as forcefully as it can at this moment. Khamenei, obviously, is a supreme leader, and by definition, supreme leader means the buck stops with him. He is the one that calls the shots, not the president of Iran. That's why everyone is going to be not just listening to his words, but trying to read between the lines of his words for intention. Is Iran inclined to try to, as its president seems to have been signaling, that it wants the scores to be settled here? It doesn't want things to go further. It wants to reach out. It wants to try to make a fresh start, if you will, with the West? Or is Khamenei going to signal that Iran is basically been backed into a corner, has no choice, can't afford to look weak and vulnerable, and will have to respond with massive force, as it sees in the case of an Israeli strike, massive retaliation?
Douglas Herbert.